What is going on, you freaking awesome people? Welcome back to Operation Self Reset. My name is Jake Meraki, coming to you live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where each and every week we dive into a different topic in the world of personal development. Before I go any further, there is no intro music. There is no intro to this show because I lost my intro music. It is on my original computer that is now getting restored. I still have 5 hours and 41 minutes to go. So with that being said, I'm going old school and keeping it simple and doing this on my laptop, which was where Operation Self Reset all originated from. So with that being said, let's get into the show itself. Today, Operation Self Reset is brought to you by Health IQ. Health IQ is an amazing life insurance company that can save you massive amounts of money if you are a healthy, active individual looking for life insurance. That is right. If you're in the market for new life insurance and also live a healthy lifestyle, make sure you check out Health IQ. Again, go to healthiq.com and or when you talk to their associates, let them know the Operation Self Reset podcast sent you over to them. I just want to take a second and say thank you to Health IQ. They've been sponsoring the show for the last 8 weeks, and hopefully you guys found value through the sponsor. Again, I only bring on sponsors that can absolutely impact your guys' life. I'm a huge believer in life insurance. I'm a huge believer in staying fit, and so that is why Health IQ has been an awesome sponsor for Operation Self Reset in the last month of 2017 and, of course, here in 2018. So with that being said, let's get into the content for today, the craft of not caring. Now, this is not going to be a very long-winded podcast. This is not one that is designed to awaken you within or to go through some systematical approach. This is nothing more than to awaken the idea of figuring out the things that you care about and the things that you don't care about. In today's world, there are so many things that we are distracted by. Unfortunately, we do not usually figure out the things that we care about and the things we don't care about. So I'm actually going to have you guys do a little activity with me. Now, I want you to think of your own personal residence. Right here, right now, you may be driving, walking, exercising, cleaning the dishes, out and about, living life. God bless you if you are. All I have to say is reflect on your home, the place that you lay your head at night, and I want you to find the things that are totally in disarray. The things that are unorganized, the things that are out of place, the things that if I was to walk into your home right now, you would be self-conscious of. It could range from anything from dishes to laundry to money sprinkled throughout, caught in sofa or dog hair, smells, old food, whatever the case may be. Now I want you to reflect and take a second and find the areas in your house that you're absolutely in love with, the areas that you do take care of. And they may be far and few between. I get that. But what is the area in your home that you absolutely care about? Now, an area you care about would be maybe your bathroom. You put away your toothbrush, you put away the toothpaste cap, you make your bed, you hang your clothes, you vacuum on a regular basis, you don't have cobwebs hanging from your lamps or anything like that. Where are the areas in your home that you care about? Now, why the heck did I even have you go through this little exercise? This is nothing more to understand, okay, what do I enjoy about my home and what do I not enjoy as much? Now, the same applies to our lifestyles. The same applies to our relationships and finances and job and career and the people we hang out with and all different types of things because they're one of the same. There's areas in your home that you absolutely care about, and then there's areas in your home that you really don't care about. Now, it would be easy for me to say and to sit here and to say, well, you know, I'm a motivational speaker, and I suggest that you clean the whole house from tip to stern and to make sure that everything is put away every single day. And unfortunately, that's not a realistic cast, right? Because you have a family, you have a job, you work late hours, you wake up early, you're trying to exercise, you're trying to juggle it all. I get it. I'm a part of you. I am no savant. I'm no amazing guru in the world of taking care of everything in my life. For example, the areas that are really unorganized in my life, my office is actually unorganized. I talk about clean your office. I do clean my office on a regular basis, but for some odd reason, it turns into a mosh pit of overlap from our kind of mudroom because it's right off of the mudroom. So everybody that comes into the house that has something important or they think it's important, they bring it into the mudroom and then it just sits, or they bring it into the office and then it sits in my office. Then I got to organize my office. But the area that is usually taken care of is my clothes. Now, let me say this before my wife jumps on my case. There's two different types of clothes that I carry. Really nice clothes that I care about, that are my dress clothes, that I really enjoy. And then there's my junk clothes, my gym clothes, my daily active wear clothes. And that is usually spread throughout my room. But I do usually take care of my dress clothes. And so that's the area that I care about. Now, what's the whole point of the care and versus not care? This is to show us that we're all human, and also to show that we give priorities on certain things in our own personal lifestyle. The most sacred, the most isolated, the most personal spot that we all have is our home. We all understand that. It could be a actual residence. It could be an apartment, a condo. You could be sleeping at somebody's house, renting a room from somebody. It doesn't really matter, but your space is your space. And what you do with your space absolutely reflects a lot on what you care about and what you don't care about. Now, how does that relate into our world? And what is the craft of not caring? There are two types of things that we care about in our world. Number one, we care about the way that we think about ourselves. And then the second part is we care about what other people think. Now, hear me out on these, okay? First of all, let's dive into the pool here of caring about what other people think. There are two types of individuals. There are people that don't care what other people think, but they actually do care. And then there's people that care about what other people think. Now, you may be on either side, depending on the day. But fortunately, we live in a kind of unique space where we can wake up and kind of have this mental chatter of, I'm better than other people, I have it all together, nobody can tell me what to do, kind of attitude, right? Attitude can dictate a lot of things, and a lot of us wake up or perform in our daily job or relationships that we have this attitude of, I don't care what you think. Unfortunately, we are creatures of habit. We are also creatures of love. And the reason why I say love is because we all have a DNA strand within us that we were cared for at one point of our life. An infant, even though it may be rejected by the mother, would be taken or cared for by a nurse or a foster home of some kind. Even in the most severe cases where individuals are put out on the street, there are still DNA strands of caring, of love that reside within our body, within our structure. And you have that, and I have that too. Because if I was to come up to you and to go, I hate you, and it isn't because of what you're wearing, what you drive, the way you live, I just hate you because of you, your internal being, I hate that. That would really hurt. That would really sting. And if you were to look in the different types of examinations, or I should say, criteria when it comes to murderers and individuals that have done crazy things in the world that now live in the depths of jails and cells throughout the world, they actually do care too. They have this facade of not caring. And so down that road, we all understand that we like to be cared for. We like when people care for us. We like when people have a good outlook on who we are. It feels good to be taken first instead of last. It feels good to be represented and praised. All those different keywords, all those different ideas, we absolutely enjoy as a human species. And I know that you guys enjoy it too, because there's nothing more authentic. There's nothing more empowering. There's nothing more that makes you feel good than when you get appreciation for the way that you look, the way that you smell, the way that you perform, the way you interacted, the way you just live. There's nothing better than when you get a compliment from somebody that says, hey, I like you for X, Y, and Z. There's nothing better than that. But at the same time, we also have this little demon inside of us, I call him the doubt man, that pushes and pries on different levers inside of our body that alters the way that we look at the world around us. And when we challenge the world, when we decide to push against the grain, when we decide to stand up for what we personally believe in, even though we're the outsider, that is where the idea of not caring comes into play. We've all been there. We've all had those rebellious moments when we were a teenager or a young child. We may be going through them right here, right now, of quitting a job or starting a job or being an entrepreneur or going back and living at home or going out and traveling the world. Whatever the case is, there's so many different variables. We sometimes put this platform around us of the I don't care attitude. And so the reason why I say the craft of not caring is the idea of understanding that to literally put yourself out there, you need not to care. It's a craft to not to care. It actually takes monumental energy, willpower, focus, determination to not to care about anything. Because if you really chose not to care about anything, you would be one of those those free spirit individuals that lives in the forest, that grows out their arm hair, and they don't shave for months on end, and they're just living off the grid on their own circumstances. Now, do those people care? Of course, they probably care a little bit, but their don't care attitude is more prevalent. It's more in front. It's more engaging. It has more energy out into the I don't care attitude. Now, for you right here, right now, chances are you're listening to this podcast because you do care. You do care about improving yourself. You do care about what other people think. You do care about the trajectory of your life. That's why you're listening to great content like this. Or if you think it's poor content, that's your personal opinion. I appreciate it. But we all have these waves of caring and not caring. And I think we've all seen that in our life. Because I know, because I'm like you, I'm exactly like you. There are times you jump into the personal development space and you love it. You're enjoying it. You're jiving with it. You're like, okay, I get it. This is totally me. And then in a couple of months, you're totally out of it, right? You don't care for it. You think it's kind of silly or dumb. You don't need it anymore. And then you dive back into it. I get it. It's the same with caring and not caring. Unfortunately, if you're an individual that has a phone or a device that allows you to listen to this type of podcast, you do care about things. You do care about something. And so what are those things that you care about? We all understand them in our own personal space because I just had you guys go through that exercise of understanding the things that you care about and the things you don't care about. And so you need to understand, what does that reflect then in my personal life, my personal space, inside of my mind, inside of my being? What are the things I care about and what are the things I don't care about? There are some individuals that try to juggle it all. Unfortunately, I'm one of those guys that preaches that to reset your life, you're able to figure out where you are and where you want to be. In that course of going to the where you want to be, you need to care about a lot of things, right? To be a great human isn't just being nice to people. It's also taking care of yourself, finding personal joy, being happy, being passionate and grateful and all those different types of things. It's kind of exhausting in a way, right? Isn't it? It's kind of exhausting if you really want to elevate your life. If you want to be the creme de la creme, if you want to be the ultimate warrior, it takes massive amounts of energy. That is why in today's day and age, a lot of people figure out their niche. A niche is nothing more than a small sliver in a very chaotic world that they live in. And a niche may be in the world of painting. A niche may be in the world of fixing automobiles. A niche may be in the world of cooking. A niche may be in the world of parenting. And as you can see, you can kind of segregate your expertise, the things that you quote unquote care about. And so for you, what are the things that you care about? Unfortunately, we don't have enough time in this world, on this earth, to care about everything and want to improve everything. We just don't. We really don't. And unfortunately, that's one of the caveats to living. We don't have enough bandwidth to care about everything to the point of we can change everything. I'm kind of going against my own word here because I've come to the realization that to reset everything, and we're talking everything, like just who you are, your being, your well-being, your financial relationship, structural outlook, passionate being. It takes monumental amounts of energy. And going back to having only limited time on this earth, there was a great conversation with Larry King about the idea of, if you could live forever, would you? If you could live forever, would you? It's a yes or no question. What would be your answer to that question? I'm not going to answer it for you. I'm going to give you the kind of the commentary that was discussed after Larry King answered the question. So Larry King's answer to the question of, would you live forever? If you knew that you would never die, there would never be a last day. Of course, there's other variables like, would I get older? Would my body start to, decrease and deteriorate and all that stuff? But let's just take it as you are who you are right now, 40 years old, 20 years old, 60 years old, it doesn't matter. And you're that age for the rest of time. Would you accept that? And Larry King said, yes, I would. I would like that. I would like to live forever. And the gentleman, I forget his name, he's a very well-known individual in the world of the universe and Mars and space science. He said basically, no, you wouldn't. He goes, and if anybody said that, that means that they'd be lying. Because his theory was that if we knew that we live forever, then what's the point of doing anything today that could change tomorrow? As in, we would all get lazy. If you knew that there was an unlimited supply of tomorrows, why would you wake up early and read a book? Why would you do a podcast? Why would you take care of your kids? Why would you sit down and have a good conversation with your parents? Why would you show up to work and why would you focus on eating good? If you knew you wouldn't die, what's the point, right? And that's where the spiral kind of starts to happen. And if you take in the regards of improvement, the things you care about and the things you don't care about, if I told you that you could live forever, and I told you, though, if you live forever, you would have to start to take care of the things that you care about, it would be quite the battle. Because if you started to care about your health, would you really care about your health? Because you knew that if you went on this new regimen, if you lived in this new type of lifestyle, you would have to do that forever, as in there would be no end. You wouldn't die. You would have to wake up every day at 5 a.m. and work out and run mile after mile and eat healthy and, get on the paleo diet and all different types of things, right? We all understand that. But if I told you that tomorrow was limited, you would die in a month, what would be the things that you care about? It would be a lot different than if you had an unlimited time, right? You would care about your relationships. You'd care about taking care of your family. You'd care about your well-being, seeing if you could improve that a little bit to extend, get more days out of your life. And so when it comes to the craft of not caring, it's easy to understand and figure out the things that we want to care about, but truly the craft is understanding and honing in the things that you care about enough to master in a very short amount of time. Unfortunately, people in today's world are living, I think the national average or the world average is, like 60 years old. The average in the United States, because of healthcare and technology, all that stuff, is like 70 years old. And depending on where you're at, it obviously varies. But let's just say on a even-keeled side that we all lived until we were 100. Now, it's very easy to understand that when you're 10 or 15 years old, you got a lot of life ahead of you. But when you start to creep into that mid-30s, 40s, and getting to that halfway mark, things start to get real. You start to focus in on the things that you care about. That's why individuals, when they finally do retire, they want to live life. They're traveling, they're doing things, their experiences, all different types of things, because they know that time is finite. Their body can only last so long before things start to shut down. And it's challenging to have a lifestyle that would allow you to live forever. What would be the point, right? And so what I'm trying to say here, and the whole message of me preaching for the last 20 minutes or so is you need to get clear on the things that you care about. And you need to get clear also on the things that you don't care about. In your home, it's easy. It's clean as day. You leave the home, there's things that are out of place, disarray. Those are the things you don't care about. And obviously the things that are in place that are in their specific areas are the things that you do care about. What if you kind of did that same type of role playing in your own personal life? What would be the things that you care about? What are the things that you don't care about? And when I mean don't care about, it's not something that like you're going to throw away or, I don't care about finances, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to still check on them or try to improve them. I'm still going to do that. But the things that I care about are my well-being, my health, my relationships, my outlook of the kids, of where they're going, what they're going to do, and what can I do to assist them in that journey, in that process. And so the thing is you need to be clear. And a self-reset is nothing more than understanding of where you are, where you want to be. Okay, true. Time markets, timestamp it. Awesome. Check mark, smiley face, circle it, check mark, whatever. Highlight. Okay, we get that. Cool. But in that journey, there's no way that you can care about everything in the progression of getting to where you want to be. A lot of us have a vision for ourselves. A lot of us have a vision that involves about 3 things. And if you don't have a vision that involves 3 things, then I want you to sit down and to figure out your ultimate life. What would it be? Chances are you're going to hone in and focus in on a couple of things. You're going to have a broad stroke of your paintbrush, right? Well-being, health, joy, passion, commitment, all different types of things. But as you start to narrow it down and start to figure it out, you're going to start to find your lane. And when you find your lane, then you're going to go for it. And you're going to figure that out. And you're going to have to stay in that lane to reach that vision that you have. Unfortunately, we don't have the time. We don't have the resources. We don't have the money. We don't have the ability to care about everything in our pursuit of greatness. We really don't. Unfortunately, we really don't. And it's kind of sucky in a way, right? It kind of stinks in a way that we don't. But you need to be clear. And I sound like a broken record because I am. I think it's a big, valid point here. The craft of not caring is to figure out the things you care about and the things that you don't care about. You need to stop caring about what other people think. Easier said than done, right? Because that does not impact your own personal life. Caring about what other people think is not going to assist you when you are at year 99. That is only going to allow you to reflect and go, I did not go full out because X, Y, and Z people criticized me, thought it was dumb, and I didn't do it. That is where the adage of regrets comes into play when you're on the back end of your life. Fortunately for you, you still have many years to keep moving. You have many years to keep pushing. You have many years to keep focused on the things that you do care about. And so if you're a stay-at-home mother, then rock the bejesus out of that stay-at-home mother role. If you're a guy that's obsessed with money, then stay in that role and rock it and enjoy it and enjoy the process. And obviously there are so many different categories. I'm not going to waste the time of giving examples, but the truth is you need to figure out what you care about. And if you don't understand how to go about it, if you want a little more direction, this is the easiest example ever. Use the example of your home. Figure that out. Then turn that, flip it on upside down, and rotate that into your life. Look at the 5 biggest categories. They are your family, they are your friends, they are your finances, they are your health, they are your spiritual side. And I think I'm missing one more, but I can't remember how many I just said. But those are the main core areas of life. And obviously there's subcategories. There's categories that kind of melt off of that or kind of expel off of that. And that's up to you to figure out those categories that you want to quote unquote care about. Fortunately for me, I care about the podcast. I care about you guys. I care about my family. I don't care about so much is extended family. Unfortunately, I don't. I know I should, but it's not nothing against them. It's nothing that there's bad blood. I love them to death. I will be there, support them and be with them. But unfortunately, I don't have the time to, you know what I mean? Like, it's not anything against me. I'm not a bad person because of it. I just have things that I care about more in front of the things that are not as important in the care factor realm. So that's all I have for you guys today. I know it's kind of a weird podcast. There's no music. It is a solo show. It's just me and you just hanging out, talking about the things we care about and things we don't care about. But I think it's a good topic. It's something that we need to figure out. Because to be honest, to be freaking awesome, to be our greatest, to do a reset, we can't accomplish everything that we set out for. And I'm not saying don't have big goals or don't have multiple goals at the same time. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the things that you care about, you can't tackle everything at the same time. You're not going to have enough bandwidth. You're not going to have enough energy, and chances are you're going to revert into the exact person you are today. So if you know that there's one area that absolutely stinks, focus in on that area in chunks for maybe 30 days, a quarter of the year, 3 months, half a year, whatever the case may be. Chunk it out to focus in on those areas that you care about and then to rotate them through, because it takes too much time, energy, commitment, knowledge, education to care about so many different regions. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys. If there's anything that I can do for you, please send me an email, jake@operationselfreset.com. If you want to leave a review on iTunes, that would be freaking awesome. If there's anything that I can do to enhance your guys' day or to assist you in your progress of the things that you care about, hit me up. Let's talk. Let's chat. I would love to connect with you guys. I appreciate you full-heartedly. I thank you for your time. And until next week, Wednesday, stay freaking awesome. Be freaking awesome. If you know somebody that needs a little bit of awesomeness in their own personal life, please share this podcast. Please share this idea, and we'll go from there. So hopefully by next week, my computer will be done reloading, and I'll have more great information to share with you guys. So stay classy, stay freaking awesome. I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you next week, Wednesday, for another great episode of Operation Self Reset. See ya.